Game Club, episode 10. Well, the game for this week is Clustertruck. Watch how you say that word. Clustertruck. Now, this is, as Chris said to me earlier, it seemed like it was just going to be a crappy iOS port kind of game. Not that it is an iOS port, but of that quality. But turns out it's incredibly addictive. So much fun.
Love it.
Yeah.
Well, it depends what your definition of fun is, right?
Okay.
Because if you get frustrated too easily, I don't know how long you could play this game for.
Well, I said to Chris that this game infuriates me, but I keep coming back to it.
Yeah.
It's an abusive relationship.
I didn't even see the video here. Like, I died so many times at first.
Yeah, there's so much death.
Yeah, but it's so fun, like James was saying, just because once you finally accomplish a level, you're like, yes!
Yeah.
You know, it's really rewarding in that way.
Yeah, and I should mention it's developed by Landfall Games. And this is something that, Chris, maybe you can help me understand. They're calling this an indie developer, but the game is published by tinyBuild Games. How can you be indie and have a publisher?
Because of how all that works. I think it's all in the legal stuff.
It's on the legal stuff?
Yeah, publishers, I'm not sure about the game industry, but like in music, the publisher, you can have a publisher who does other people's songs.
Okay.
So they just help with the legal side of things. They can help with distribution, things like that.
Okay. I still don't understand, but I feel like you're smarter than me and I should agree. Now, the game Clustertruck, it's on Steam, so obviously Windows, and then also Mac, and soon for PS4. I didn't know that until today. That'll be on the PS4.
Come on, Xbox, stop dropping the ball.
And the PS4 really is, if you want both like AAA games and indie games, you get quite a good like selection of smaller downloadable indie games on it.
Yeah.
Which is nice. So what is Clustertruck? I mean, you're watching the video, but if this ever goes audio, like how can we explain it? Well, the developer called it like the ultimate game of the floor is hot lava. And essentially, you're trying to get from A to B, from wherever you start all the way to the finish line, but you can't touch anything but a series of semi-trucks driving towards the goal. And you have to, you know, you could be tempted to just stay on the semi-truck you start on and let that ride you all the way through. But first of all, they crash into each other and destroy each other.
Yep.
Secondly, there's all kinds of traps and things to kill you if you try to do nothing. And thirdly, you get maximum points for speed and tricks. And you can spend those points on upgrades and abilities like double jump or like kind of a float mode or
Rocket Pack.
They have like I can't remember the term they use, but essentially it's like the Batman thing where like you shoot a line
hook?
a grappling hook.
Yeah.
So and the farther you get into the game, just the more ridiculous the scenarios get. Because like at first, the first world you're in, which is kind of like a desert sandy area, it's just the trucks driving and kind of smacking into each other, and you're like, oh, okay, this is pretty fun.
The drivers are just horrible drivers,
Yeah.
period.
It's like driving the 710. No big deal.
Yeah. But when you get the second world is what our video mostly shows, and you can see things the ante starts upping, that like they start floating the trucks, the trucks start getting hit by boulders.
Yep.
You start having to switch like almost different sets of trucks, where you have a whole set of trucks driving one way and you have to jump from that set to another set that's driving a different way. And then deeper into the game, ice and
lasers.
And lasers.
Freaking laser beams.
Yeah, and giant objects smacking things around. It gets crazy. The game becomes very wild.
Yeah, and the trucks react to this. For example, sometimes they'll hit a truck and then they'll just get stuck there. And then if another truck comes by and knocks them out of the way, then they can keep going, right? But yeah, you definitely don't want to rely on the trucks to take you to the goal. You want to jump from truck to truck and see which one is actually taking you to the goal.
Yeah, and if you say, screw you eyeballs, and you get really close to the screen while you play, you get that pit feeling in your stomach from the movement.
It's definitely a game that makes you move the controller.
Yeah. You know, this could probably be a really killer VR game.
Oh, man.
That'd be so good.
Yeah.
For some reason, people are stuck on this like
I'd have to
idea
take
that...
Dramamine.
This is kind of going off topic, but for some reason people are stuck on this idea that VR games, like, you shouldn't have to be able to move unless you can move your feet in real life. That's stupid. I'd love a VR game where I'm sitting down but I still have crazy movement to play around with.
Well, I think the issue with that is that because you're not actually moving, it gives you like motion sickness, I think.
I think that's just initially. It's back like when first-person shooters first like landed, a lot of people got motion sickness from them.
People still do.
Yeah, but most people, after playing like a little bit, figure it out and their brains adjust.
You can. They have that stuff that, what do they call it? So you can play regular games that weren't built for VR on your VR headset.
Oh yeah.
So you can just have a great view.
Yeah.
But you use your Xbox
It's like theater
controller.
mode or something like that. Yeah.
And then we'll have to get Vibe to send us one, and then we'll
let you know how it goes.
Yeah. Now, like I said, the game was highly addictive, sometimes infuriating. There was times when I felt like I was tempted to believe that there was just a little bit of bad game design happening at certain moments.
Mm-hmm.
Other times I thought the game design was incredible, right? Mm-hmm. So it's sort of a mixed bag, but I really enjoyed playing it. Really great gameplay loop of just trying to get through the stage like in the most gutsy way possible, right? In the most fast way possible. One sticking point for me, one thing that bugged me was the controller scheme. That I guess this is an issue if you play with mouse, but this is the kind of game that kind of tempts you to play with a controller. But if you do, you can't use the jump button and use the directional R stick at the same time, which that seems like a huge gameplay flaw.
Can you remap the keys?
No, I tried.
Yeah, I played
that
with
might come later with
keyboard,
a patch.
and I felt like mouse and keyboard was really great actually with this game. I didn't feel like it was weird or anything playing this kind of game with that. Yeah. So it just felt kind of natural for me as an FPS player on PC. It was just fine.
If I was playing on a PC at home, I would definitely have just picked the mouse right after finding out the frustration of the controller. But I'm the kind of person that plays these games on the go on my laptop, and I don't. And so the worst option of all of those is the trackpad, right?
Nice.
What else? I've been talking a bit. Chris, tell me about your experience with the game.
I did not think there would be so much replayability with this.
Yeah.
I thought it would be kind of a funny gimmick, and I'd be over it in about 5 minutes. And that was not the case at all.
Yeah.
I even found myself replaying levels just to try and do it faster, crazier, or whatever.
Yeah. And the game so far, I've not beat it. I don't think anybody here has. But every time you get to a new world, there is a satisfying twist on the whole thing, right?
Yeah, a new obstacle type thing to deal with. Or
Laser world, man.
Lasers.
It throws like really cool things at you and stuff. And just the environment itself, like the, what is it called? You know, the stuff that's around the trucks. Right. It looks really great, I think. Yeah. I mean, at first I thought it was kind of like you said, an iOS kind of game that I should be playing on a tablet or a phone. But then after playing it on a PC, I thought, okay, well, this will probably be a little bit harder on an iOS device. And, you know, just watching the gameplay as I'm playing and I'm looking around as well, you know, like you can see right there, some of the scenery just looks really nice, I thought. Yeah. So I don't know if they can pull that off on iOS.
Yeah. Something I don't know why I had this thought, and again, this is kind of going astray, but when I was playing this game, I had this almost revelation that this is what Tony Hawk, the skateboard games needed. That they, like, I just thought to myself, how incredible would it have been if like a Tony Hawk game had a level where you're jumping from like truck to truck like this, right? Maybe not quite as like wonky and extreme, but still like.
Or they should just put it in the next Assassin's Creed.
That's funny.
Yeah.
Oh, shit.
It seems like Tony Hawk really could have. That's what it was missing, was kind of going to the next level of like extremity. Yeah. And if they had thought of more interesting things like this game, that it could have been pretty great.
Yeah. And then this game is not just jumping, like you're running forward as well. You're trying to get the best time, right?
Yeah, and you can sprint.
Yeah, exactly. And then also what's cool about this, you can actually for a limited time, I guess, you can run on the side of the truck and then like get a really big boost on your initial jump, and you can get pretty far actually. So it's you got to find those little tricks that'll help you get the best time in the level. So it's pretty cool, I think.
My last thing before we vote is I'm very glad that you can restart the level quickly.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
If there had been a loading time, I wouldn't have.
It's not a Bloodborne sort of thing. And also right before we finish and with the score and all that, I wanted to mention, because we hadn't, is the levels have a degree of randomness to them. Like you can't just design your path and like sort of like hash out like the path you're gonna take to get to the end of the level, because the trucks act randomly, the traps change up a bit here and there, and And so the randomness, you can create a strategy for a level, but you can't you have to run on intuition.
You can't
always.
just memorize the patterns.
Right.
Exactly.
No, you can't memorize patterns. Exactly. That's what I'm trying to say. So, okay. So our usual scoring for games is don't buy, or buy on sale, or buy full price, or go the extra mile and find out another way to not only buy the game, but help the developer out, either buy the soundtrack or collector's edition or whatever is available. Mm-hmm. So, Jose, let's start with you. Where do you land on those?
I think this was a little bit difficult for me. Just because the price is $14.99 on Steam. And I don't know, to me, this seems more like a $10 game. But I definitely want to help the developer out. So I would say get it if you want to help them out in that way. But if not, if you don't really care and you just want to play the game, then wait for it to sell. Yeah.
I want to underline that I really like the game, but it is fair to say that for $14.99... It's a bit of a steep price for what you're getting. Mm-hmm. I guess it would have been nice if I had known how many levels there are. Chris, in fact, could you look that up? Do you have a second to look that up? Because that might affect how I do this. And while he's looking that up, so as you're seeing in the video right now, like the trucks just go all over the place.
Well,
right?
there's custom maps too.
And there's custom maps too, right? And you can play other people's maps. So that's a fair observation. I haven't played any of the custom maps yet. In fact, I only stuck to the game itself, to the campaign. Any word on how many levels, Chris?
Nope.
No. All right. Well, I'm going to say, with a little bit of an asterisk, I'm going to say buy full price. I mean, I completely understand if you wait for sale on this one. Mm-hmm. But it is addictive. I think that's ultimately what wins out for me, is even though there was times when I was extremely frustrated at the game, I couldn't put it down.
Yeah, that is true.
Yeah, and I remember like sitting down for an hour just with like veins popping out of my head because I was trying to get through certain things.
But I had to walk away from my computer because I got so angry. I was like, oh, okay, I need a break.
Yeah, I need a breather. Okay, Chris, what's your score?
I'd go full price, and if you dig the music, which is really good,
yeah, it is.
Just kick in the extra $5 for the OST.
Awesome. Okay, so you got a sale, you got pay full price, and then you got go the extra mile. That's a good. We're not usually so mixed, so yeah, I appreciate that. Cool. Well, if you liked watching this, please go into the description, find our Twitter accounts and all of that. We'd like to see you like our Facebook page if you use Facebook, and also to find to subscribe to us on YouTube, and to like and subscribe, and to share the videos. That goes a long way right now for us. So thank you very much. Have a great day.
Thank you.